Hello, daydreamers. This is Elle from the editing room. I really felt the need to tell you that this episode unfortunately experienced some technical difficulties. Basically, Elle's mic went up Schitt's Creek and I don't know what happened. It just wouldn't work. A couple of shoulder bumps during the recording and then it just went. During this editing process, I thought, do we scrap it? No way. The episode was too good. So basically, instead of having Elle's mic just be horrible, I used the audio from our cameras for Elle's audio. And then when I did that and used my mic, it just sounded horrible, having my mic sound normal and then Elle's mic sound horrible. So I decided, how about both mics just sound horrible? That way it's fair and equal. It could not have happened to a more interesting episode, I think, because we really talk about in this episode how things don't need to be perfect. You just got to do it. So this is an example of Elle and I taking our own advice and preaching to the choir, I suppose, and just putting it out there and it not being perfect and us being okay with it. So enjoy the episode. Daydream Believers with Elle and Elle. Hello, Elle.
Hello.
How the hell are you?
I am swell. I'm pretty good.
You look well.
Actually, to be honest, I'm not very well.
Oh no.
I'm not well, but I've got a croaky voice.
I guess you could say you sound a bit croaky.
Yeah, I don't feel unwell, but I'm definitely having one of those weak piss poor coughers.
What piss poor?
Like those. I'm sick. Coughs.
Did you say piss poor?
Yeah, like the weak piss poor.
Piss poor.
Piss poor.
Piss poor.
It's weak.
That's what piss poor means?
I don't know. Clearly we know I don't know any sayings.
Piss poor. Oh, that was piss poor.
Yeah. It was piss poor.
So if you go for a weak massage, you went for a piss poor massage?
I think it means more like it was just shit, and I have a shit cough.
Oh, that was piss poor.
Do people say piss poor, or am I the other person that says piss poor?
Piss poor.
Piss poor.
You know when you say words too much and they kind of blend to some weird sound?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Piss poor.
Piss poor.
Piss poor.
Piss poor?
Piss poor.
It
Piss
feels-
poor.
Yeah,
Piss
it feels
poor.
like 101 Dalmatians. What's their dog's name?
Pongo.
Pongo. It feels like that.
Pongo.
Pongo.
Piss poor.
Piss poor.
Pongo. Pongo.
Oh, piss poor.
Oh, piss poor.
I love the name Pongo.
Pongo. It's not Pongo. You can't say Pongo. It's Pongo.
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 Pongo, chap. This.
Pongo. That was good. Well done.
I was actually saying to my husband the other day, I wish I could have a job of just making sound effects.
Rough. Really.
That would be like a dream job.
That'd be nice. I always saw those people, I remember watching on Disney Channel, you know when they used to do the behind the scenes or come with me to my dad's work or whatever it was called.
Oh, yeah.
I remember two specifically. One of them was this girl where her dad made fireworks. It was a very cool part.
Oh.
Yeah, I just remember always watching this girl and her dad and he did fireworks for New Year's Eve. Another one, I just forgot what I was talking about.
I'm so keen to hear more, damn it.
Why is Pongo stuck in my head now?
Pongo.
No. Oh, yes.
That triggered you?
Yeah.
Every time you forget something now, I'm just going to go.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know if it was the dad, going to work with my parent kind of thing or what my parent does for work, but it was another segment on Disney Channel or one of those kids channels that it was showing you the behind the scenes of movies and how all the people make the sound effects and how if they need to make a clicking sound they'll put tap shoes on the ground.
Yeah.
Or they make a scrunchy sound. I would love to make those sound effects. Plus those sound effects are just the best type of ASMR.
Yeah, for sure. I think I saw something about how they did the lion's roar for Lion King. Mm-hmm. And it was not a lion. It was with something else. Mm-hmm. But that's as far as my knowledge goes.
Wow.
So look into that.
Why would you not use the sound effect of a real lion, you wonder? Maybe they can't get the microphones too close.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Did you know a random fact of trivia?
Yes. Tell me.
Piece of trivia came into my head. You know the lion from MGM? So, you know MGM? At the start of movies, the lion that goes...
What's MGM?
It's like a movie studio. It's an old school movie studio.
I know the lion. But what does MGM stand for?
It's some like fancy names. Metro Goldwyn.
Ah,
I can look it up.
I never realised it was MGM.
Yeah, it is.
Mountain Goat Media.
Definitely not.
Meninja Gokkel Media.
Meninja Gokkel?
I was thinking of a G.
Metro Goldwyn Mayer Inc.
Wow, that really is a fancy Incorporated.
Inc.
Mystery Incorporated.
What's the one from Monsters Inc.?
Monsters
Inc. I'm Monsters Incorporated.
Ah, yes.
Anyway, apparently the lion...
Mm-hmm.
Now, this could be fake news.
Yes.
Do not use me as a source. Apparently that lion killed someone.
What? That's a real lion? I just thought that was an ad. Like, it was like a...
No, it's a real lion. No, that's a real lion.
Wow.
Don't forget, like, that was around from the 40s.
That was a while ago.
That was a long time ago.
Times. I knew it wasn't AI, but like I thought it was like some kind of...
Oh my god, no.
Like lifelike.
That's when, you
Wow,
could
so
only
he killed
use...
someone while filming that one?
I don't know if it was while filming that, but I think at some point in the lion's life,
he
took a human life.
Wow.
I don't know how true that is.
Maybe payback for not giving him royalties for every time he's played.
Well, what's a lion going to do with royalties?
I'm saying in the world where the lion cares. It's like an alternate universe where the lion is like, you know what, I do know these things.
I'll pay the rent. No, none of the lions used an NGM logo, including Leo the lion, are known to have killed anyone. Then why was that a rumour?
Where did you hear said rumour?
I have no idea.
In thy dreams.
It's just an amusing fabrication.
Ah,
it's a myth, you would say.
We are Mythbusters here today.
Mythbusters. I totally believed it.
Well, you told the whole...
I did. I told the world.
I
hope they kept listening after I said that because they're going to go around thinking, that lion killed someone. Where'd you hear it? Oh, Daydream Believers. They know everything, those girls.
They Google everything.
Oh, they Google everything.
Ah.
And it's wrong.
Almost always.
Horribly wrong. If we say something is fact...
It's probably
the opposite.
It's probably fiction.
Also reminds me of when I went on my honeymoon. We went to America, and we went on a celebrity home tour in LA.
Yeah, yes.
And they told us that there was this White House that was like on top of the Hollywood Hills, and it was Iron Man's house.
Ah.
And I gotta tell ya. Me and my husband, we believed it.
Oh.
We believed it.
Wait, wouldn't it be because it was like from the movie Iron Man's house?
Yeah, that's what we thought.
Yeah. Oh, so it wasn't even that.
No. First of all, the house is in Malibu. We didn't go to Malibu. We just stayed. We were in Hollywood. Doing a Hollywood celebrity home tour.
Yeah, but surely in the movie they just pretend it's in Malibu. Rick?
No, but you've got shots of the landscape.
They can film that at a different time.
My point is, Elle.
Yes.
The guy said that was the house that was used for the
Iron Man.
exterior shots for the Iron Man movie.
Oh.
And you know how much I love Zemarvel and all of that jazz.
Yes.
I've seen the movie a million times. Why didn't I Jerry that the house looked nothing like that?
Mm-hmm.
My point is that I believe that it was Iron Man's house. And it was not Iron Man's house. We found out when we went next time.
Oh.
I don't know how we found out, but we were told.
You went back again we should go back to
Iron
we were
Man's
house.
Remember Iron Man's house? And then someone was like, that's not Iron Man's house. And we're like, oh. And then we looked up what the house looked like and what we were looking at. And it was like
this is nothing.
This is not it. Nothing like it. We were robbed.
True.
So now I'm thinking, were any of the houses on that tour real celebrity houses?
Probably not then. I guess that one maybe everyone was like, and then you guys were the only ones that would believe it.
Yeah, bloody Aussies that believed it.
Damn.
I was just young. I was young.
Mm.
I was 21. I would have believed anything.
Yeah. I always wonder, like, I haven't been to the States, but, like, I always wonder if those tours are, like, based in movies, a lot of them are fake. Or, like, they're fake maps of all the celebrities' houses.
I mean, they probably
I would
are,
still-
right? It was
I
still
still
interesting.
enjoy it.
It was still interesting. I did
Yeah.
fall asleep during it, though.
Dude,
but-
being on, like, I don't know what type of thing, was it a bus?
It was a bus.
Yeah, was it, like, those double-decker buses?
You know, like the hop on, hop off type
Yeah.
buses? No, it wasn't like that.
Oh.
It was just like a normal bus.
Enclosed.
Yes.
With windows. See, the hop on, hop off
Should've
buses, I've gone on them a few times, and almost every time I get heat stroke sitting at the top of it.
That makes sense. It's
And
usually
I'm
hot.
listening on those little tiny things, and I'm like, oh, I can't deal with this. I'm not. And I find that I don't see the place I want to see as much being on the bus, because I'm like, I instantly want to fall asleep when I'm on public transport.
Right.
It's like a real. I don't know if it's a problem, but it's like a. Maybe
You're
a
like-
power I
You're
have.
like a baby.
Yeah, like
get
literally
soothed.
cradled. And
You
as soon
get
as I close
soothed
my
by
eyes,
the
I'm like,
movement of transport.
mm,
Yes.
yeah, it really soothes me.
Yes.
I think maybe because when I was younger, mum and dad used to always like, my parents used to do that, or I used to do that thing where I'd fake falling asleep in the car, but I kind of would fall asleep. But I'd wake up when we got home and I'd be like, all right, back to sleep. So that, like, leaning against the window,
Oh, and then they could carry
they can
you
come carry me inside. And I swear I did that till I was like, probably grade 6. Like, I was, because I just love being carried.
But your dad's not very tall.
He's so short, yeah. But
and
I
you were
love
probably
that.
this height.
I know, I haven't grown since
Your
grade...
feet were probably only this far off the
Actually, good point. I
ground.
think I've grown since grade 6 or maybe
I
even
haven't.
7. Yeah.
I haven't.
Like,
It's just your ass is like right
no
there.
wonder, like, come on, Al. And I was like,
All right, Al.
I'm so tired.
Get up!
Oh, that was so relaxing back then. I miss
yeah.
those small, like, pleasures of being a child.
Yes, yes, the many pleasures of being a child.
Yes.
Good times.
Mm.
Back to the hop on and hop off buses though, they were handy sometimes.
In what way?
So where we really used it was when we went to America, and we only had 3 nights, 2 or 3 nights in LA. And on one day we were going to Universal Studios, and then the other day we were going to Disneyland. So we had like no like daytime to explore like the actual LA area.
Yeah.
So what we did is we bought a hop on hop off ticket for the day that we landed there. So we landed there at like 6 in the morning. Eventually checked in, because obviously check-in is at like 2, 3
Oh,
p.m.
yeah, that's so fucking hate that.
It's the worst. That's the worst part, especially if you land somewhere so early.
Yeah.
We'd go in for a nap. We'd get up and eat, and then around like sunset time, we got on top of the hop on hop off bus
Oh, it's sunset.
at sunset time, and it was such a beautiful. It was still warm,
Yeah.
and we just sat there and we went all around LA. We didn't get off at all.
Yeah.
We just sat at the top and drove all around LA, and that's how we got to see it.
Yeah.
The first time that we went, all like you drove past like Nickelodeon Studios.
Stop.
You drove past like the Walk of Fame? What is it? The Star Strip, Walk of Fame, whatever it
It
is.
is Walk of Fame, yeah.
Is it something like that?
Stars Walk Hall. Yeah, same
Yes,
thing.
you know what I'm talking about on Hollywood Boulevard.
Nice.
We went past all those places that we weren't able to explore properly in that time that we went, because we were only there for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So it was very handy.
I do find I prefer to stay on them, because once you get off, then you have to wait for the next bus. And
Yeah.
sometimes people get off just to take the photo opportunity, and then the bus is like gone.
It's gone.
And you're like, oh, what the hell? Now I'm stuck in this random spot that's only achievable by bus.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
like, well.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where it came in handy for me. I would recommend if you're short on time
Yeah.
and you want to like see
Yeah.
the sights. Elle, what are we talking about today?
Oh, we had it in our head.
I actually had a poem of sorts that I wanted to
Poems!
read to
Yes,
everyone, and I
poems.
thought we'd discuss. Basically like an English class.
Yes.
You get an essay topic, discuss. That's what
I
today's
always sucked at those.
episode is.
I always never understood like what to discuss about it. I like always like I found out not that long ago that when I did book reports, I took it so literally that I thought I was writing a report on the book, not like a report about like about the book and what the book's contents was.
Right.
I would write it like, this author did a great job. I like
Oh,
the way they did.
yikes.
And I was like a review.
Like a review.
Yeah, I did it like a review, and all of my book reports, I found them not long ago, and they were all written as reviews, which
Like a
obviously
critic.
came in very good handy when I went for my ADHD assessment, because the teacher was like, she has not comprehended
She did not understand the task.
And it's funny because I never even read the book, so I was just like, J.K. Rowling did a great job. She really inspires me.
What school were you going to where your essays or book reports were about Harry Potter?
In primary school, I'm talking about book reports. Essay time was crap.
I was like thinking to myself, I went to the same school as you and we did not do Harry Potter.
Nah, primary school. I got to select a book I've read, but I just picked the books out of the movie because I don't read. Whatever that is.
Yes. Can't read. Yes, but before I read said poem, let's take a quick break. Ellen, do you think that's a good idea?
Yes.
Great. But before we take the break, we must ask you a few things. If you could please follow us on any podcast platform
and click
social media app of your choosing.
Please, and if you like what you're listening to, please rate us a 5 out of 5.
5
out of 5. It helps everyone jive.
Jive?
To dance. It helps us jive.
Jive.
I don't think this is a jive.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
And we're back.
And we're back. Elle, I am on 1%, so hopefully I can read this poem in time.
Ah.
I saw it in the old TikTok, and I think the TikTok that I saw it was at senior.tofyy. So thank you, sir.
Toffee. Senor Toffee.
It says it at the bottom of the pictures, so I'm assuming.
Senor Toffee.
Senor Toffee. Thank you, Senor.
Thank you.
Toffee. Anyway, I really liked it. I felt like it gave good perspective on how to look at your life.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're feeling blue, I feel like this is something that you can look back and think, yes, that is how I should be thinking.
Okay.
All right, are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right, hopefully my phone doesn't die. Let's do it. There are only 2 people whose pride should truly matter to you. Not your parents, not your friends, not even your mentors. Just 2. The 8-year-old you, full of dreams, and the 80-year-old you, full of memories. Both are watching you now. The child you once were is still inside you, filled with wonder and hope, waiting to see if you'll chase the dreams they once believed in. They don't care about success the way the world does. They just want to see you try, to be brave enough to go after what truly makes you happy. And then there's the older you, the one who's lived through it all and knows how quickly time passes. They don't care about achievements or what others think. They just want you to slow down, cherish the small moments, love deeply, laugh freely, and fully embrace the life you have today, because those moments won't last forever. If, in this moment, both of them can look at you with pride, if the child sees their hero and the elder sees a life well lived, then you can rest easy. Because in the end, it was never about being perfect. It was about being true to yourself, about making the little one proud and giving the older one peace. And if you've already done that, then you've already won.
I got a little bit emotional. Yeah, there's so many thoughts that came up in so many different moments of that. But that was actually just beautiful.
It was nice, right?
It's a really good reminder in life.
Yeah.
Because, it's so easy to be focused on, trying to, it's so easy to lose sight of why you're doing things and to lose sight of the younger you and the older you and the intentions behind why we're doing the things we do. It's so easy to think that I need to succeed in this, I need to do this, I need to be, like what you said, it's not about being perfect, but you have this thought of getting all these things done in such a perfect, or maybe not perfect way, but in such a set out way, in such a timeline way that's in cohesion with everyone else around you, that you lose sight of the fact that at the end of the day, when you're 80 years old, all you're going to care about is the fact that you just did what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that you just lived your life in a way that just makes you know that hey, I didn't stop for anyone else. I got to enjoy every little moment that I wanted to enjoy. And to slow down is a really nice
Slow down.
yeah.
Slow down is a really big one. And I guess as you're going through your day-to-day life, and obviously we have grievances, things annoy us during our day-to-day lives, and that's totally normal. Things are allowed to annoy you.
Yeah.
You're allowed to be annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if it's such like a trivial thing that is bothering you at the time, I guess a question you can ask yourself is, would the elderly version of me care about this right now?
Yeah.
And really, if they're like, what? Why do you care? Like, that doesn't matter to me at all. You can kind of be like,
Which is so interesting, right? Because sometimes when I talk to my grandparents, they're always like, "What? That doesn't matter."
yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh," and I'm like, "You just don't get it." But then, yeah, come on. But
Come on, yeah.
But like now, I'm like, oh, it's probably because like to her, she's lived this and understands like that's such a minuscule part of like what matters.
Yeah.
But then, yeah. So and even for the younger self, right? Like, I feel like there's so many of us live our life like still in the way that we thought we needed to when we were children.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing things, everyone's doing things every single day that are for our younger self all the time without being conscious about it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way we respond to things because of what's happened to our younger self,
for
you know?
sure.
And so I think once you build that connection with your younger self and you start to realize like, hey, like you just nurture them a little bit and in turn they nurture you and they help you like feel more comfortable in your everyday life as well, not feeling like you have to grow up or you have to get over things or you have to, even like you have to still live in that certain way when they give you permission to move on as well. I think it's such a nice feeling when you I noticed like back when I was doing life coaching a lot and a fair few years ago now, and I first got into like inner child work, the incredible difference it made to just build an actual connection to that 8-year-old version of myself.
Yeah.
It made a substantial difference in just how I looked at things. And similar to how you asked the question, like, if I asked my 8-year-old self right now, does this matter? And they'd say, nah, this doesn't matter. I'd ask my younger self as well, like, is this what I actually want? In a different way, like, is this actually who I want to be? Is this me being someone I would have been proud of? Am I doing the things that I, at my core, actually feel like, do I feel that fun inner child energy when I'm doing this? And if it's a no, or if it's like, oh, my inner child would be like so disappointed in me right now, then it's like, oh, I'm not about that. It's not a fuck yes for me if it's like that.
Like you could look at it as though if you travelled back in time and you came across your 8-year-old self and you told him this and this and this is what your life will be when you get to my age, are they going to be like, hell yes? Or are they going to be like, oh, really?
And it'll be a bit of both for everything. Because
for sure.
My younger self would literally right now think that I'm living your life. Like, my younger self would think, oh, like, you'll have a kid or two by this age. Definitely, I thought I was going to have, like, 6 kids by this age.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be married. You're going to own multiple properties. You're going to be a CEO of all these businesses. Which,
Damn.
But I had big dreams.
Yeah, very big dreams.
And I had very family value dreams, like, in terms of, like marriage and children. I was so into having kids. And then, so I think there's a part of my younger self that'll be like, what? We turned into one of those ladies? But then, as in, like, the ladies that are, like that you watch on TV and they're, like, in their 30s and living with their parents.
Like an old spinster.
Yeah. But then I'm like, and then I would talk back to my 8-year-old self and I'd be like, you don't know what it was like.
You don't get it.
You don't get it. I think we I'm like, wait till I tell you all the other things I go to do, and they're going to be like, oh, I see why.
Oh my God, we got to talk to the Wiggles.
Yes, I spoke to Nathan from my pie.
What?
But, like, I think there's some things that, like, a child will just never understand until they've gone through that stuff, and we can't, it's easy to judge in that element of things, but then the other things of, like, just little things I did that would just blow my inner child away.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like, even more so in terms of just confidence-wise. Because my inner child as a kid, obviously was as a kid, but my inner child was, and me as a child, was petrified of life. Petrified of, like, super, super anxious. Had always this, like, fiery desires to do things, but truly, I never thought that I could actually execute being a person that could show up socially and things. If I was telling my honestly, even if I was telling my 21-year-old self that this is what I do and I'm like with you doing this right now, what the fuck? My mind would be exploding. My younger self would be like, you're full of shit.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And I'd be like, no, like, I actually feel comfortable doing this. Do I still speak awkwardly sometimes? Yes. Am I overly conscious of it being on camera? Yes. But then also, I'm also cannot help but be myself all the time. And this is part of that. I got to bring my anxious self to this as well.
That's you.
Yeah.
And about your anxious self, by the way, I was with my auntie.
Oh my God, did she tell you? Oh my God.
And she told me she had the funniest interaction with this one over here, Miss Magoo. Miss Magoo. She was walking along and she could hear, you'll obviously tell the story better than me because I wasn't there, but she could just hear, hello, like just hello, like just from behind her, and she's like, and then kept walking, you're just like, hello.
Oh, it was...
Tell me from your point of view.
Okay, so I walked into the shopping centre and I saw auntie and uncle in front. And if anyone knows me, they know I don't like approaching people in public. If I want you to say hello to me.
Yeah.
I want to have the conversation. I cannot start it. Usually I can never start it.
Yeah.
And so anyone that's gone to school with me in the past, anyone that's worked with me in the past, anyone that knows me, if you have seen me at the shopping centre, trust me, I've seen you. I have eyes like a hawk all the time.
Yeah.
However, I would have instantly gone into fight or flight and been like, shit. And then
avoid eye contact. Avoid.
The shop you see because I'm in panic.
Yes.
So I did I slowly approached like a gremlin. So I was like, and my core was hidden in the back. So I don't know, it's like a protection.
Your core was in your shoulders.
Yeah, I was protecting myself. But I looked up and I was like, hello. From the back.
Was it from behind?
From behind.
Damn.
They were, looking through the window of a jewelry shop, and they were in conversation as well. So I was like, oh, I don't want to tap someone, so I don't want them to be scared. But then I realised the approach I gave was very E.T., not like, hello. And I was, Mr. Burns when he's walking through, I felt like that. And then they turned around and I saw the fear in their face. I was like, and your uncle was like, I was thinking, who the hell walks up to someone like that? And I was like, only me. And then we walked with them for a little while, and I bumped into them again later on, and they were just like, hello. It was honestly hilarious, but I was very, very much, afterwards I was sitting there thinking to myself, why can't I just say hello to people normally? It's always been a problem. It's always been a problem. Anyone that's fucking known me and seen me out in public, you know I'm awkward.
I can relate to you 100%. I really struggle to approach, especially if it's someone that I'm not in regular contact with. If it's someone from school that I've seen or something, I will be like, avoid eye contact, abort. Even though I feel great towards this person.
Yeah,
There's
same.
no ill feelings. I just have trouble seeing people in public.
Yeah, I don't know what
especially after a period of time. How would I be like, hey? I can't just be like that. Hey!
But you know what's... It's weird, right? Because even with people I do see often... I bumped into you that time.
Oh, yeah.
At the pancake place. And I wasn't awkward, but I noticed myself
But maybe because I was with other people.
Perhaps it was that, but it's it's when you're with other people and I'm like, I can't just talk to you how I normally talk to you. And then I'm like, and I don't know when to leave.
Yeah, and you're like, yes, hello.
Hello.
And I'm like, oh, hello, Elle.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, fancy seeing you here.
Yeah, you would not think that we have a business together.
Yeah, I was
you would not think it.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll let you.
all right.
Top of the morning. I'll say random shit top of the morning to you. Bye.
Okay.
That's how I talk when I'm awkward.
Yeah, and then the people I'm with are like, what the fuck's her problem?
Yeah, and I noticed that
how much time you got?
Oh god, every time. my insides are extreme jittery, and I can feel it on the inside. It's my blood is
Yes.
I can.
So you could say that if you told your 8-year-old self that you do that, they'd be like, not surprised.
Yeah, not surprised. We used to do this all the time. Yeah, but then the fact that I do that and yet I can still feel the fear and do it anyway, and still feel the same feelings.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. like, we ask the question all the time on the podcast, if you could go back to your younger self, what would you say to them?
Mm-hmm.
And there's plenty of things I would say. I've said a bunch of stuff differently on the podcast, but just now I had the thought that, like, I think something I would say to them that's really... I fucking forgot about it again. Okay.
Damn it.
But... No, I feel like, yeah, something I think that's important for them to know is that, like, it was never about those feelings of anxiety disappearing, because obviously with my mental health, it's a disorder. Like, I've got a chemical imbalance and it's a disorder. So it's not, that was never going to disappear entirely.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, it was important, if I could go back, something I would say to them would be, like, those feelings are going to stay, and those, like, that physical symptoms might always be there, but how we handle them and how we move forward with them and how we can feel them anyway and still do what we need to do, or, like, still actually put ourselves in, like, weird social situations, not weird, but, like, put ourselves in social situations, or, like, still make a podcast, or put myself out there, or, like, talk to friends and do, like, things. I used to let that physical symptom of anxiety stop me from doing so much when I was a kid, and I feel like my younger self would really benefit from knowing that, like, it wasn't about those physical symptoms, like, having disappeared. It was about how I spoke to myself about having them. Because I used to feel them and be like, oh no, like, I can't, like, I would let the fear, like, rule me, and now it's like, okay, I feel them, and I'm like, all right, okay, well, you know what, this is just who I am. I just own the fact that I'm still going to feel like this, but you know what, I'm not going to let this affect how I live the rest of my life. I'm not going to let this stop me from creating a podcast, or quitting my job, or having confrontational conversation with my friend, or saying hello to someone even though it still scares me in public. Like,
I wonder how your 80-year-old self will be when it comes to stuff like that. Like, will you just get to a point where you're like, I don't give a fuck how I come across, or, you know, how I feel? Like, will you even feel those feelings by the time you get to that age?
I don't know, man. I feel them less and less. I have been feeling the physical symptoms less and less as I've gotten older, and I will say that having the podcast has helped extremely with that.
100%.
Because that feeling of I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
And, like, really, what does it matter if I randomly talk about how I poop or I have constipation if I can talk on YouTube to all of you about how I'm constipated all the time and I have hemorrhoids, I'm pretty sure.
True. And you like Kranskis.
I like Kranskis. If I can talk about random shit like that and I'm putting that stuff out there, then I really, at the end of the day, like, it's shown me that, like, there's nothing to be that embarrassed of, or nothing to be that fearful of. And I think by the time we're 80, that will just keep growing to that point.
Yeah, I really believe that. And I have heard that from a lot of people, that the older you get, the less you care.
Yeah.
Although I have, in very special circumstances, I feel like heard of people, the older they got, the more they cared and the more anxious they got.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm heading in the opposite direction. Like, more, less caring, more happier with who I am.
Yeah, same.
And that's what I hope and I pray for by the time I'm 80. I hope that I can look back and think, you know what, I like who I am and I like what I've done.
Me too.
And just be really content. I just want to be content with the life that I've had.
Yeah, it's interesting, when you were reading that, the part that made me want to get teary was the fact of saying, it was like a line about when you're 80, when you look at yourself when you're 80, you're going to look back and think that you've, like, lived your life the way, like, to the fullest sort of thing. And then you said if you've already done that, then, like, you've, like, the ending sentence.
Like, you've won.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, like, especially over the last, like, 2 years, I might not have achieved that much. Like, I've done a lot of things, but I might not have been I've never reached the perfection level, or, like, even in the top 70, like, past the 70% mark of, like, where I want to be, or what targets I want to hit, or just, like little goals I have for myself. But in terms of how I feel every single day and the things I have surrounding myself in my life, and, like, just how I show up as a person and a human being, and the people around me in that way, I, like, have had so many moments in the last 2 years at least where I've literally thought to myself, like, I could happily die young, like, happily die tomorrow and feel like I've accomplished everything I wanted to. I just feel so, like, deeply connected with that future and that past version of myself. And I feel like since I learned to look at my future self and my past self, it has extremely changed, like, the way I consider choices and decisions in my life. And since I've utilized those two connections in my, like, to my, those parts of myself, I just feel so, like, fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not doing anything I don't want to be doing. And when I am making a choice that's something like, I'm like, oh shit, I'm breaking a boundary from this myself, then I have that moment of reflection with myself, with one of those future or younger selves, and I'm like, oh, this is why I let that boundary be broken, and this is how my future self would handle it, so let me handle it like that. And I just feel so deeply connected with that, and I just feel so blessed to be able to, like, I don't know, I just really I feel really just satisfied.
That's so good. You're in a good place.
Yeah. Which is so interesting, right? Because, like, in other ways, like, and that's what I mean, like, in the mental health ways, like, the things I can't control, like intrusive thoughts and stuff, there's still an element of that still goes on.
Yeah.
And it has been more,
of course, yeah,
more intense probably in the last couple months, that it's coming to terms with the fact that, like, that might not be something that ever changes. But, like, I'm still okay with that.
Yeah, I think your acceptance of that changes.
I think the acceptance has been a big role in this.
I really like the things that you're saying, but I, from my point of view, I've never had the feeling of, if I died right now, I'd be happy. Like, I'd be fulfilled. I feel like with a lot of these situations, I come from the point of view as a parent.
Yeah.
And I can't help it because
it's your reality, yeah.
It is my reality. I, have a kid and he is my life. I have my own life, but he is my life as well.
Yeah.
So I can't think to myself. I feel like I actually can't think to myself, if I died now, I'd be satisfied.
Yeah.
Because it would not satisfy me to not witness certain things in my child's life. Yeah. So I can't, which is, on one hand, you could look at it and think, what, you can't be satisfied with your own life? You got to live through your child's life? No, I don't see it that way.
It's that way either.
I think it's more, I want to just see my son grow up and be the person who just chases his dreams and becomes who he wants. I feel like that, to me, makes me a very successful person. I cannot wait to witness those things. I really can't wait. So I think the 80-year-old me, a huge part of me will look back and think, I loved watching my child grow up.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be such a huge part of why I look back and be so happy. Because they take a whole chunk of your heart and they leave just little bits for you. But also, I feel like I've come a long way in my 20s. I'm turning 30 soon.
Yes, very
as well.
But not too soon.
Not too soon, but soon. Not too soon, but soon. But I feel like I've come an incredibly long way in my 20s. I felt like they started off so innocently. I was, it's like I was still 16, but, I wasn't technically an adult.
Yeah.
But, going through the things that you go through, traumatic experiences, depression periods, you don't realize how much you needed those for you to better yourself as a person.
Yeah.
So I think me as an 80-year-old will look back and think, I'm glad those things happened. Because now I get to be, I wouldn't be the person I am now if it wasn't for those things. I wouldn't be as confident as I am now if I didn't go through my postpartum depression. Like, it doesn't sound like it correlates, but it does.
Yeah.
It really does.
I agree with, even with my worst of my obsessive compulsive disorder, I wouldn't be who I am right now and the confidence I have without
for sure.
that not being able to leave the houseness.
Yeah, it's really strange how your rock bottom periods are what lead you to your best part of you.
Yeah.
And, another thing that I'll be able to, I think I can confidently look back on and say is that, life comes in phases and phases pass. That's one thing I feel like that comforts me, because I know through sad times or dark times, it will pass.
Yeah.
And I know that me as my elder self, when things happen, I'm hoping, this is me guessing, that I'll just grow a resilience to those harder times, because I'll be able to learn from the past and think, well, you know what? It wasn't always like that. And when I felt like this last time, it passed.
Yeah.
So it makes me want to just go into things head on a bit more.
I agree. I feel like even in small ways, at this first quarter of our lives, you can see that with maybe not the big things in life, but with those small things, like the things that you once felt when you were 10 years old or 12 years old that got you to such a certain degree, because they've happened so many times and those phases have come in and out so many times, it's like, you don't even think of them as things you ever had to deal with before. Like, I couldn't even list some of the things I used to get mad about when I was in an early teenager.
Yeah, I mean, they were, they were age appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. But some of those things still happen, like, later on, like, friendship grievances or little things like that. And the way we handle them and, like, the traumas that come with those things, how upset we can get about them. And then when they happen now, you're like, I just handle it like this.
Yeah.
And those bigger things that happen in life that make us feel that way, the more that they happen in life, the more that those phases come through, we're also going to feel that way about those things. Like you said, like they're going to slowly become a thing where we're like, well, I've handled this before. I can just go back into this in this way, or I can navigate it in this way. Even going back to what you said about like being able to witness your child and like wanting to do that. I think in general that's like a normal feeling because you have that in your life right now to like there's nothing wrong. There's no need to even justify why you would want to continue living to be there. Because like that, I think if I was in your position, that's exactly how I would feel as well. It's just that I don't have anything like that. So there's nothing in, like for me, I feel like that, like, I'm like, tomorrow I could do that. And my life really, aside from the people I already love in my life, like for me as a person, there's nothing else that's like, I need to see out. Like I need to see out.
Yeah.
Where in
like that, a real need.
Yeah, where in that scenario, there's a need. There's actually
need.
Yeah. And to be fair, your role still needs to be fulfilled.
Yeah, for sure.
In that way. So
yeah, I've got a long way to go before, my child leaves the nest.
Yeah. And even after,
Oh, yeah. Well, parenting doesn't stop when your kid moves out, or when they turn 18.
No, definitely.
Parenting is a lifelong commitment, obviously. Yeah. For you as the parent, hopefully not the other way. There's nothing beats watching your child thrive. Nothing beats that feeling. But also, in conjunction with that, when you see your child struggling with something, nothing can beat how hard it is to watch that happen. But you know what? You soak it all in, and it's my things with my 4-year-old are 4-year-old problems and 4-year-old happinesses.
Yeah.
I am very curious about what my older self is going to think as the ages get higher, and so do the problems.
Yeah.
So do the good times as well. So the older they get, the bigger the problems, but bigger the happinesses as well.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious as to what my 80-year-old's going to look back on and think, and then hopefully I'll have grandchildren as well.
Yeah. It is interesting.
And I'll be a cool yeah. Hey kids.
And I always wondered what I'd be like as a year, even though I feel like I already could be one. Like, as in, I feel like I have the essence of Yaya sometimes. Like, I could imagine myself instantly being one of those, like, long-haired, grey hair Yayas. All I need is my walking stick, which I have one. But, like...
Yeah, you're already there.
I'm already halfway there.
You're already there.
Yeah.
Man, I'd love to be a Yaya.
It's honestly... I'm probably in adulthood being, like, I always said to myself, when I'm after the age of, like, 65... I'm going full tattoos.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like back to lip piercing back in, and I'm just gonna like rock out grandma style. Yeah.
Love that.
I just feel like, you know what? What's it got to lose at that point? You're just gonna be a cool granny.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of being a grandparent. You get all the fun. The kids are always so happy to see you. They want to sleep over.
Yeah.
And you get to then like drop them off with their parents and then go out.
It's so
I
true.
fucking love that.
Yeah, it's so true.
I love that. I can't wait for that lifestyle. I can wait, but obviously.
Yeah.
But it just sounds so much fun. You get like the best of both worlds at that point.
Hannah Montana
and you don't
style.
give a shit. And hopefully you're more financially stable by then.
I think so.
So you get to just fucking live your life. You get to travel and then come home to your grandkids and then travel and then come... Like, this just sounds so much fun.
Gifts, like little mementos.
You get to be the ones that, like, gives them the chocolate on the side. Like, I fucking love that.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
It does sound like fun.
Is that why...
Oh my god, I am that already right
you
now.
are that.
Oh
You're
my
such
god.
a yaya.
I am a yaya. Because I don't think I'm auntie level. Like, I am an auntie, obviously, but I'm not helpful. You know?
Yeah, but you don't have to be helpful.
I know, but I'm not funny. I'm not helpful. I'm not. What do I add value as an aunt? But as a grandma, I feel like I'm more like a come here,
Come
cute,
here.
cute. Oh, let's
You
sneak.
little
Let's not
knucklehead.
tell mum about this. Oh, let's do this.
Don't tell your mum.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna go on my retirement holiday. I retire. Literally, I've retired from proper full-time work.
Yes, that's true.
I go traveling half the year.
Yes.
And I keep going on holidays and all the jobs I work with are with people that are like in grandmas or like about to become grandmas. Places I've gone in the last year traveling, I've only hung out with 7-year-old women. So I'm pretty much at that level right now.
That's you.
That's my life right now.
Embrace it. You're just missing
maybe
the
Benjamin Buttoning. I'm Benjamin Buttoning like
Benjamin
parenting.
Button.
I actually think I am Benjamin Buttoning because I've always felt like a parent as a child.
Right.
And then now I feel like a grandparent as like a teen.
Right.
Well, not teen. Why did I think of a teen?
What are you now? Derelict?
Yeah.
Like, what are you now? You know?
I'm 30. But like as a 30-year-old now I feel like a grandma. And maybe by the time I'm in my 40s, that's when I'll be like an actual mum. I reckon. Maybe.
Like it.
Let's aim for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know what my 8-year-old self would say about the life that I have now. I don't think the 8-year-old me would be surprised. Married, kids, blah, blah, blah. Don't think it'd be surprised. I think it'd be surprised that I actually somewhat figured out what to do.
Yeah.
And discovered that I'm somewhat good at some things.
Yeah. Oh, because you always had that thought that you weren't good at anything.
Yeah, I
You
always
have a
really...
talent.
And to this day, I still don't think I have, like, a talent. No, but like an outstanding...
Did everyone see her do that woof?
No, like I said, sound effects jobs. I would like to do that. But anyway, no, but what I mean is I don't have, like, a born talent. I wasn't, like, naturally gifted at something.
Yes.
Something outstanding in acting or singing or being a doctor or a
She
lawyer.
says that, but you should hear her sing with her mouth like this. Like it's actually quite...
Oh, like when I talk without moving my mouth?
Yeah, when you do that... When we used to sing with... Like when we tried doing that thing where you put air in your mouth, like in your cheeks, and then you sing through that. Do it.
So, what do I do?
Yeah, remember that time? Yeah, it's
I
so
sang you
cool.
happy birthday.
Yeah,
I think I
heard
remember.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not now. I think when at the
yeah,
time.
my birthday, yes.
Yeah. No, not this birthday. Another birthday.
yes.
Yeah, but they're so pointless.
No, they're good gifts. And I feel like if they were just oiled a little bit,
Yes, I guess so.
they're from the womb. You got them from birthing.
I think and this is going to sound depressing, and believe that in my heart, I don't believe that this is depressing to me. But I've accepted that nothing that I do is perfect.
That's good. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I cannot be a perfectionist. As much as I want it to be perfect, I feel like I want to be a perfectionist so bad, I just can't achieve it.
Yeah.
But I'm so okay with that.
I think I'm okay with it too. I think it's crazy that like I never really strive for perfection when I was younger, but I definitely was someone that if I couldn't do it like to the fullest capacity, I was like, I'm not going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
And now I still give it a shot even though I know I'm going to not do it to its full capacity. Yeah. It was never that I needed to do it full capacity. I was just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And I feel like since having the ADHD diagnosis actually, I feel like knowing that, hey, there's a reason why I like just didn't follow through with things.
Yes.
There's a reason why I always thought, I'm like, yeah, I could be good at that, but like, I've never looked into it enough. Yeah. It gave me such reassurance and like it validated me so much to be like, oh, I can just give things a shot now and I don't have to know absolutely everything about it for me.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like there's so many, even for this, right? Like I remember being like, oh, I would dream of having a music podcast, dream of having a music talk show or something like that. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm not musically talented. What the fuck? What? Just because I can name it what song a song is and sing a whole song after like listening to 2 chords of it doesn't mean that I'm actually talented. Like, that's just a random gift I have.
That is
yeah, but it's just like a random, because I like songs. Like, it's not because I'm musically inclined. At least I don't think I am. But, like, and I remember thinking, like, oh, but I don't know, like, the name of every, like, I don't know all the fun facts about bands. I don't know all the fun facts about little things. Like, you're pretty well versed in Beatles and, like, or the Beatles, or even in how you are with movies and TV shows, like, you know it.
Do I though?
But
do you remember when I said the lion killed someone? But
that's not. But with the things that you like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I
and
get
then remember when I said the Iron Man's house was it? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Like, yes, I do remember. But
yes,
you are well versed with that stuff. Where I like things, and I'm particular with things. Like I know what I know, but like I'm not all knowing about that thing. And I used to feel like if I didn't know it to its 100% or at least 80% of knowing that entire subject, then I clearly wasn't a super fan of it, or I wasn't actually like really into it. And it wasn't until I came to terms with the fact that like that's actually just a way of thinking. That's a very all or nothing way of thinking in my life.
All or nothing.
That I do with everything. And I'm like, oh, I don't need to do that. Once I learned that that's probably just like a byproduct of the ADHD, I'm like, you know what? I can just actually just enjoy this now. And know that it doesn't matter if it's all or nothing or not. I can just enjoy this because it's fun. And if someone thinks I don't know enough about music to have a music podcast, poo-poo to them.
Yes, poo-poo.
Poo-poo to them.
Just
because it's more about like the passion of liking and loving something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my biggest thing. It was like, I was like, I want to do this, but I don't know enough about that thing to do it. Or I don't like, I love that thing, but do I love it as much as that person?
Yeah.
And it was that comparison that would stop me from doing things where I feel like would stop me and make me think it wasn't perfect enough for me to follow through with. When now I'm like, you know what? I can just enjoy something and that's enough.
Yeah. You know what, Elle? You and I are talented at?
Yes.
I feel like we may not be singers. We may not be dancers. Well, I'm definitely not a dancer.
I'm pretty stiff. I'm rigid as hell.
My finger does some good wagging. You know, we may not have an obvious talent like I was saying before, but we have the ability to say, oh, how cool would it be to do this? And then we just do it.
I know.
To be able to say to yourself, you know what, I tried it, that is the best thing that you can do for yourself.
I agree.
If you have something that you want to try, like you have in the back of your mind thinking, oh, I could do that.
Just give it a shot.
Just try it.
It's been I feel like it's been our superpower.
Just don't put thought into it. Don't put the weight in it.
Yeah.
You just do it.
And I know that sounds like there's probably someone sitting there right now that's like, how can you just do it? But like, it's literally just as simple as
You've got to really simplify it with yourself.
You've really just got to simplify it with yourself and just get rid of all the other bullshit that's going on in your head and just think, you know what? Is this something that I think could be cool? Yeah. Like, do I enjoy doing that, or would I probably enjoy doing that? Even if I don't know, I guess I'll find out.
Yeah.
And just be like, well, I guess if I right now or tomorrow just start putting one little plan in place to do that.
If you just signed up for something, I don't know what your idea
thing is,
but somewhere you can just start it.
Yeah.
And once it starts, it kind of causes like a domino effect.
It really does.
At that point. Well, that's what I've discovered. And one point of view that I can say it from is that I've kind of become a podcast coach. I don't know how it happened.
I know. I was the coach.
Okay.
Now you're the coach.
I really don't know how it happened, but I've helped like 5 or 6 people start a podcast at this point.
Yeah.
Which is great.
It's awesome.
Right? But a lot of the clients that I've had have thought it was way more complicated than what it was.
Yes.
And I was like, nope. You just need to do this, and you're done. You got one. And they were like, but I need the best equipment. I want this, and I need the best camera. And I'm like, you actually don't.
Yeah.
You know?
You actually don't need any of that. You just need to start.
You just need to start. And what's wrong with your audience just growing with you?
Exactly.
You know?
And exactly, like also the expectations of things. Like, guys, we know we're not the biggest podcast in the world, obviously. Right? But it's like if you're doing something because you just are wanting to give it a shot and you're just wanting to have fun with it and see where it goes and you're doing it more for you than you are for anything else.
Yeah.
Then you can just ride things out and enjoy it for what it is. And that's when your fans and your, like, the people around you or, like, the people listening to you or buying from you your product or whatever grow with you.
Yeah.
Because they're the people that just are genuinely connecting with who you are. You're not doing it for any other reason than just to be yourself.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, success can be subjective sometimes.
Yeah.
How do you define success is kind of like asking the question, how long is a piece of string?
Mm.
Because is it financial? Is it recognition? Is it like self-healing? Is it... It could be literally anything.
Yeah.
So what you can envision as something successful may not be another person's vision of successful. So my point being is, who cares about the other people's view of success? Just care about your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Just start it.
Just start it. Like, obviously we've done this. This is one thing that was like that. Like Elle's podcast editing and podcast coaching is one other thing. For years was like, I want to do photography.
Yeah.
And this, I've now become like a fully fledged photographer just by the fact that I just put myself out there one time.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? I quit my job, started this podcast with you, was doing my life coaching business, and on the side to just make a bit of cash, I was like, I always wanted to get into photography. And I just looked up photography jobs on Seek, found one photography job that was just seasonal. And now I've done like that photography job for the last like 4 years seasonally, and that led me to another thing, that led me into another thing. And even though it wasn't like the best job, and it's not like the most high paying position, and it's not like it wasn't even the type of photography I wanted to get into.
Yeah.
But you
were photography adjacent.
Yeah. It's, you just find a little
just
thing that...
put yourself in that arena.
Exactly. And
it's kind of like how they say dress for the job you want, not the job that you have.
Exactly.
Just put yourself in a position that you're around what you want to be.
Yeah.
It's better than not being around it. Right?
100%. You know what else I would say? Like, we've spoken about the 8-year-old version of ourselves and talking to them, and the 80-year-old version of ourselves and talking to that version of ourselves. Look at the one that's 8 months from now, or even 8 weeks from now, and try to work out, like, that's something I did before I quit my job. I would go to my work every single day, and it was back when I was doing life coaching, so I was really into, like, just trying to be as reflective as possible every single day. But I was driving to work, and I remember just being like, I fucking cannot be bothered today. Like, I just want to do this. And I remember seeing the car being like, okay, my future self that's like 8 months away from here right now, what does she want to do? What does she want to be?
Yeah.
How would she respond to waking up today? Because my future self back then, my goal was to not work full-time anymore and work for myself. And I was like, well, if I was working for myself, yes, one part of me wants to just be able to sleep in. But the other part of me would be like, that businessy version of me would be like, what the hell? We want to wake up because we're excited to wake up, and we're excited to go to the place we're going to today, and we're going to, like, I'm excited to put makeup on and to do my hair and to like put a nice outfit on because like I'm just excited about life. Yeah. And then as soon as I started thinking that way and thinking about what that version of myself was doing and how they showed up every day, and not for anyone else but for themselves, I was like I noticed that like I had like a pep in my, I sat up taller. I like felt like instantly that feeling of dread for the day kind of like lifted, and I was like, you know what? I am in control of my day. Like, I am in control of how I let today feel. And if I don't start acting like that version of myself today, then I'm never going to reach her. Like, you have to act like that version of your, like, when do you can't just sit and keep acting this and keep living your life in the same exact way and kind of doubting yourself or dreading things or just putting things off. Because eventually that future version of yourself that you've dreamed about being, that's going to pass. Because you need to actually take action today for that to even... you're going to take that like 0.5% jump to get to the 50% way there.
Yeah. And just simplify it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what's one way you could look at it? Take what you want to do, make it as plain as you would as if you had to explain it to your 8-year-old self.
Yes.
And then just take it from there.
Yeah.
So let's say you want to become an artist, right? So then you're thinking to yourself, well, how can I become an artist and get my work out there? Like, there's so much more networking, like, it's saturated. Being an artist is more of an old school tradition now. Like, do we even really have galleries and art, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
you can have all those questions, right?
Yeah.
All those hurdles. All those things that are stopping you from just doing it. But if you were to explain to your 8-year-old self and be like, well, what I want to be is an artist. What is an artist? Oh, well, simply, you're just painting a canvas and then you sell it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound so hard, says the 8-year-old you. I agree.
Yeah, I know it sounds ridiculous because then you're still thinking of all the risk things.
Yeah.
Or all the other things, but you just got to look at it as bare minimum as that.
Literally
like,
bare
hey,
minimum.
Let me just start. Let me just grab a like, let's say it was painting on a canvas. Yeah. Let me just go get a canvas, go get some paints. They don't have to be the best quality. Like, again, what Elle said before, it doesn't have to be the top tier of everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to have this grand scheme idea to start off with.
Yeah.
Like, just see, like, do anything. Just get yourself in the mood of doing the thing that you're doing.
Exactly.
And then just post it anywhere.
Literally anywhere. Literally anywhere. We are so blessed to be in a world where literally any profession can be at our fingertips.
Yes, it's so true.
You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
just there. So you can achieve so much. You can make so much money just being at home.
Yeah.
Which I know is very comforting to people. But to go back to the painting, the moment you pick up a paintbrush with paint on it and it goes on a canvas,
you're starting.
You're an artist.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Same with photographers, right? Like, the moment it doesn't have to be the best fucking camera.
Yes.
But the moment you go outside or set up a little studio at home with a freaking piece of paper and a torch.
Yeah.
And you take a photo of something, you're a photographer. Like, you're not a photographer. Obviously, a lot of photographers will get all sassy about it. But, like, you're becoming a photographer.
Define a photographer. A person who takes photos.
Yeah.
You are that person.
Yeah. And yet you just start doing things in a way where, like, and then you start believing it, you start calling yourself that, and you start taking actions like that. It will naturally happen.
Most definitely. It's like us, Elle. You and I we're not call her daddy.
Yeah.
We are not whoever else is big.
Yeah, we're not.
We are not, you know... God, who else is there?
God, my brain is like fuffled.
I am literally like going blank on.
Yeah, we're not Abby Chatfield. We're not Call Her Daddy. We're not.
Yeah.
We're not Two Broke Chicks. I quite like their podcast.
Yeah. We're not them.
We're not them. We're not any of like those other like podcasty girls. And we're aware.
We are aware. Trust me.
We're aware.
We are aware of that.
Yeah. And
more than anything else that we can be aware of.
And you know, the thing is, it's like when someone asks like questions about how we're doing or how we're succeeding, similar to what you said before, it's like when we're like, someone is asking us questions based off of what they deem is successful in a podcast, or what they deem is successful as a photographer or a podcast editor or an artist or even just like a business owner of any sort. And your job isn't to answer them based on their success criteria.
Yeah.
Your job is to just answer them based on however, like, just based on, like, the honest thing. Like, you know what? I'm doing this. I love doing this. Yeah. You don't have to even answer them fully, but you can just be like, you know what? Like, I might not have all of the followers in the world. I might not be getting all the podcast sponsors in the world, but you know what? I enjoy rocking up every single week to do this.
Exactly.
But that's all that matters to me.
But my question, Elle, is, are we any less of a podcaster than what they are?
No.
We have over 100 episodes.
Yeah.
That we've all edited ourselves. All of our marketing is done purely by us.
Yeah.
All the guests that we have gotten has purely been because we emailed people.
Yeah.
Are we any less of podcasters because our Instagram for our podcast has 2,000 something followers instead compared to 100K or 2 million or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think so. We are still podcasters at the end.
Exactly. And same with those people that, like, are doing any, like, you guys that are, if you're right now thinking of, you're holding yourself back right now from doing something that you just had, it doesn't even have to be your dream. Just something you've been like, you know what, I wouldn't mind trying that.
Yeah, that sounds kind of cool.
Fucking try it.
Do it.
Just do it. Who gives you don't have to be the best at it.
No, you really don't. And trust me, we are not the best at this.
Yeah, and you know what's weird? Like, you might try it out. You might be surprised that you suck, or you might be surprised that you like it, or you might be surprised that you have to work on it a little bit, whatever. But you might not end up going for that, but you will be surprised by what it leads you to.
Yeah.
Because you learn lessons from trying out a new thing. You work out, like, just your own habits. by doing that stuff and like teaching yourself how to, once you've done that practice of trying something new and pushing out of that, moving out of the comfort zone to the growth zone, like moving out of fear to growth and moving into like that whole, like past that 5 seconds of like, you know, when you're scared to do something, you're like, oh, like you have to just bite the bullet.
Yeah.
That 5-second decision-making thing where you just take action in that second, the more you practice just that action of being like, you know what, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Or for these small things, the easier it becomes to just keep doing that. And so
yeah, for sure.
let's give an example. Like I remember I tried to learn the ukulele when I was like 19. I sucked at playing, but I still practice and practice and practice, and it taught me so much. And I think I remember that being one of the first things I ever like told myself I'm going to give it a shot properly to like play and to teach myself. Not to make a profession out of it, but if I was going to be good, probably. And then I didn't think anything of it for months after that. And then the next time I was like, I saw someone like playing with a Rubik's Cube at the shopping centre, and I was like, hey, I want to play, I want to learn how to do a Rubik's Cube. And instead of like being like, oh, I'm not a smart person, I can't do that, I literally learned how to master a Rubik's Cube within like 3 days, and now I always do Rubik's Cubes all the time. And they sound like stupid things to practice doing.
Yes.
But they taught me things. Me learning the ukulele showed me that I could be persistent at something, and actually if I really wanted to learn one song, I could learn one song.
Yeah.
Me doing the Rubik's Cube taught me that like I'm not a dumbass. Because I used to always tell myself before that like you are so stupid, like you, like those are for like, and I associated that with being smart. And so
of course, because it was used in media. For,
in that way. And so
people.
teaching myself that and realizing, hey, I'm actually pretty good at pattern recognition. I'm pretty good at this. Like it taught me stuff about myself while also simultaneously teaching me that I can just give something a go that I think I'm going to be shit at.
It just enforces the habit
Yeah.
to try things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
I think
it's
that's
dominoes.
It is a domino effect. I think that's the whole point that we're trying to get at here. Just try again.
Yes.
It literally just doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
And it also teaches you to potentially fail,
Yes.
which is so important, because it then teaches you to just get back up and try again. Like that lesson is it's integral to become who you want to be, I think.
I 100% agree.
As cliche as that is, but it is true.
The lessons you learn from just trying something out and it not working out are way, way more useful than things just going smoothly sometimes.
Yeah. Hell
you learn way more lessons, and in the long run, they all find, like you might not see the lesson at first, but it all finds its way of like life is mysterious. It finds its way coming back to you.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, wow. Anyway, I think I need to go to the toilet. So
the toilet you shall go, my friend. Just not here.
Not here. Yes, not right in my thumb chair.
Nah.
But no, I've needed to really go to the toilet. I've been like shaking in my boots. So that's
all right. So we will end it there then, because for L, nature is calling.
Yeah.
Okay, so just ask yourself. I will end on this. Just ask yourself, what does the 8-year-old you want? And would the 80-year-old you love it?
Yep.
If they look back.
Exactly. And if you're stuck
Go from there.
Yep. And if you're stuck right now and you're wanting to try something new, and if you're stuck and you're feeling like a bit like meh at the moment, try looking to talking to the 8-month. Oh my god.
8-month-old you.
Oh my god. And
what does the 8-month-old you want? Milk. I need milk.
Oh.
Give yourself some milk.
Yeah.
And you'll feel so much better.
Exactly. But no, if you're having one of those mornings like I did, and you're waking up and you feel blur, I can't be bothered doing this.
Yeah.
Think about where you wanna be in 8 months' time, and start with how you think that person would wake up.
Hell yeah. And simplify things.
Yeah.
Don't make it such a task with so many hurdles.
No.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, I have done a race where I have knocked over every single hurdle and then I threw up afterwards. If that isn't a life lesson, I don't know what is. Did I go back to athletics? No.